everybody. Thank you for having a look at this video. We're here with the amazing Kathy Chester, who is well known for being the instigator of MS Disrupted and the Move It or Lose It podcast. Hello, Kathy.
Hello. Thank you.
How are you? We're starting.
I'm doing very well.
This new segment because we want to tap into the knowledge that Kathy has, this vast knowledge of movement and exercise, and the mission behind it, keeping you moving and keeping you fit. We want to tap into the knowledge that she has and use it across our community. So it's not only just for people who have MS, it's actually, it has a crossover into people who have all sorts of disabilities, myself included. So, you know, it actually covers such a lot of people, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And us doing this together is so important because, you know, everybody knows you. You are just an amazing woman. And Lyndsay, it's been such an honor to be able to work with you. And the Neo Walk sticks are just amazing. And I even told you a little story about, you know, for my birthday, we went to Cedar Point, and I told you what a roller coaster nut I am. And I had forgotten mine, and I was using another cane, and I got so frustrated that I actually just said, you know what, just pitch it. And so it's been such a life changer for me in so many ways. Not only when I feel so fatigued and I know I'm going to need it later, but also this accessory piece for me that I look at the ones coming out and I'm like, you know what, that's going to look really good with this outfit. So as I think of it as an accessory piece, I also, with clients that are unable to work with dumbbells and they can use what normally they would use as a broomstick. Now I'm like, get your Neo Walk stick and let's go. Yeah. So this has been such an amazing tool because I want them to feel like this is a part of you. Yeah. Not feeling like, okay, I've got to dig out my cane, but no, this is flashy. Yeah. And grab this because now we're going to exercise with it. And let's get excited about this.
Yeah. And imagine to be,
so it's been really cool.
Your walking companion, but now becomes your exercise companion.
Right.
And it's building that relationship,
yes,
building that trust that you have with your mobility aid. It's just, it's part of you. And that's
for sure.
With all the designs and colors that we want it to reflect part of you. And that's why we want that bond to be so good. So I've put together some questions that I'd like to ask you, Kathy. Now, some of them are from my own point of view, because I'm really interested in what you would advise me personally to do, but just from a general point of view. So if we kick it off, I know you call your podcast Move It or Lose It, and I absolutely love I love the way that's phrased. Is that true? If I stop moving something, will I lose the ability to use it?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's what we call atrophy, right? So when we stop using different parts of our muscles, they eventually atrophy. And back way before we understood that, when we had something wrong, whether it was multiple sclerosis, whether it was rheumatoid arthritis, before we understood why we had to use those muscles, doctors would often say, just rest. Yeah. And don't use so much because you've got to have the ability to do something later. And if you have to cook or do something like that, you need your rest. What we found out later, and my goodness, it was 2020 when doctors came out and said, you have to exercise. Yeah. And thankfully for me, and I believe that's why I'm doing so well, I had, you know, family members that were sick and passed away many years ago. And it was because they did nothing but rest and their muscles truly atrophied. And so I took that for real and I saw what they were doing and it was nothing. And so I just used that as changing things around for my body and knowing what I knew, that exercise is going to look different, but stopping moving, I would lose everything. Yeah. And I thought, is there any part of my body I'm willing to give up? Yeah. Am I willing to give up my arms, my legs, my hands? Yeah. So I just kept doing all the things that I knew to do and kept learning more things. And, you know, when I do my Zooms with clients, it looks a lot different. last night, for example, we did a lot of pelvic moves. We did a lot of pelvic floor moves.
Yeah.
And it was exhausting. Yeah. And I said a lot different, right, than going to the gym. And you would be, you know, squeezing a yellow ball and coming down and doing a different exercise, but it was tiring. Yeah. And I said, you know, we do different things now, but like I do with the cane, it's much different than you would think of.
Is it more targeted? It's much more targeted.
Absolutely.
To specific muscles.
Yes. Muscles that we need to use every day, but we don't think about when something hasn't happened to us yet. We think we take it for granted.
Is it ever too late to start again?
Never.
Exercising again? No,
never. I can say honestly, I train people from 20s up until they're 75, 80.
Cool.
And it's never too late to get that ability to move. I would say,
even when you feel that you've had, you know, a few years of inactivity, it's still okay.
No, it's still absolutely. It just, you know, it's amazing what the body adapts to. And when you think you're done, you're not.
You're not.
If you're still alive, you can move.
Do I need to ask my doctor? My doctor's useless. I don't know what my doctor would say. Do I need to ask my doctor before I
try? I mean, I always say, if, you know, ask your doctor. You know, I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV. Yeah. So I would say, you know, you can, but a lot of people come back and say, I don't have a relationship with my doctor. Yeah. So unfortunately, which always breaks my heart.
Yeah.
But so oftentimes I will say after that, I need you to really listen to your body. If you're feeling like you're too tired, which I can see in their eyes, and I just say, let's do some meditation first. Let's breathe and then see where our bodies are at.
So if I'm in pain, because I live with pain every day, pretty much 24 hours a day. If I'm in pain, do I take painkillers before I start exercising, or do I just push through the pain?
I don't like to push through the pain. I like, if you need to take something before, then take it. I don't agree with that. If something's hurting you, then back off. There's a difference between soreness of muscles, right? You know that feeling when you work out and you're sore. Yeah. So a lot of times patients or clients will call and say, I'm really sore. And then we'll go over that. Are you sore? Remember before you were sick? Are you sore from exercising? Yeah. Like, do your legs, your glutes, or your arms hurt? It that kind of soreness exercise.
Yeah.
Or do you feel like you've injured yourself?
Yeah.
And really, I want you to think about that in your body.
Yeah.
Because your muscles can easily be dehydrated.
Right. Okay. So that could be a factor as well.
For sure.
I didn't know that.
Yes. That often is the case. We think we've had enough water, but we haven't.
No. When you think you've had enough, you probably should have the same again. Probably.
Right.
Hand up. I'm dreadful for drinking water. I really am.
So many are.
Yeah.
I think I was like, right now, I think I was born thirsty. So I have so much water. That's all I do.
Look at this. She brings out a big giant flask.
Yes.
How many?
That's all I do.
How many?
I probably filled that 8 times. And I really am thirsty all the time.
Oh.
So when doctors say drink when you're thirsty, I'm like, I was born thirsty. I just want water all day.
But the trouble for me is it has to come out the other end, and I just sit in the toilet all day.
Oh yeah, so true, so true. I usually am.
So you know, I mean, I look back to when I used to go to the gym, and I used to cycle a lot, and I used to box, and I used to get my cardio, get my heart and get my heart pumping. How do I do that? I'm sat in a wheelchair.
So let's say we're doing somebody. Can you hear me okay like this?
Yeah, you can show me. Yeah.
Okay. So let's say we're going to do a cardio move. So what I would do, like one of my favorite things is I would take this and I would set the timer for, I'm kind of sideways, so I'm going to straighten out. So what I would do is I would say, let's go in and out. So we could do seated. So we could go like this. So depending on your range of motion, we would either go out like this. Okay. So I'd set a timer for 30 seconds, or we go up and down.
Right. Okay.
So those are 2 moves. And this is another move we do is here, 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 here,
okay.
here, here.
And
So we
that's
set
all
the timer.
that's all seated as well.
So you're sitting and you're pulling your abs in, and you're either going like this and you're breathing.
Yeah.
And that movement or this for 30 or 40 seconds, and I let the class choose, you would not believe. And you can either combine it like this. Yeah. And that actually gets your heart racing.
And is that really good for you? Good for your core?
For your abs? Absolutely. So the first thing I say is pull your core in tight. Yeah. Squeeze your glutes, and don't just go through the motions. Think about where your shoulders and squeezing your scapula back. Yeah. And really think about, because what we know is the mind and the muscle is a big thing. Mm-hmm. So put your mind in what you're using. Don't just start going back and forth. Think about you're squeezing your back, and you're coming out using your arms, shoulders, and biceps. So think about each muscle you're using. When I was circus performing, I used to, you know, that's one of my little secrets. Yes. When I was doing trapeze work, if I was doing something really, really hard, they taught us a kind of method where we used to breathe into our muscles to give it the oxygen to keep working through. And do you know what? It worked. It was a bizarre thing to start with, and I thought, what a load of nonsense. But we used to constantly breathe into it. It's huge. Yes. It's massive. Absolutely. So you've actually blown one of not my myth, but is it real exercise if you're sat down? And here's another one. So let's do one of the big things. Let's do abs. Okay. So I'm going to sit towards the front of my chair. Yeah. I'm going to sit back, and I'm going to kayak. So I'm here and I'm using my core, and I'm going side to side, and I'm going to watch it, set the timer. And so now I'm getting my lower abs and my obliques. So that's a great one. Would that kind of work? That would be a bit of cardio as well, wouldn't it? Absolutely. It's cardio. It's getting my lower abs and my obliques. So it's a big one when you're talking about a wheelchair or being seated workout. The big thing is I'm not able to get my abs. So I'd love to be able to show them ab moves, because they're like, I feel it. I can feel it in my abs. Yeah. Because it's really frightening when you think about, I can't feel my abs. I can't get to my abs anymore. Yeah. So those are some things that we can do. And then leg moves, it depends on where they're at with their legs. Yeah. If they can use their legs, some people can lift their legs, or some people have obviously you can't do anything. There are nothing. So then we don't worry about that. We do all upper body. So even when we're talking like biceps, so we're doing bicep curl. Yeah. And then the range of motion is strengthening the shoulders as we come up. Yeah. And then back down and doing that bicep. Yeah. So some people can just do the curl. Some people easily can go here, and that's the range of motion. Yeah. And then we come back down. And then it's really celebrating the progress. Yeah. I said to you yesterday, I've got different ranges of motion in both my arms. So I can get one, I can get that arm higher than I can get that arm. So that would actually, that would give me something visible to look at, to show me progress, and how it compared to the other arm if I was to do those exercises. Because I am really, really going to set myself a target for doing this, because I always tell people to do it in their journal. So if they're not with me, to look in the mirror, and when they're with me, I'm their mirror. Yeah. And I want to know, and we're going to write in this journal how far we got. Yeah. So that each time we're able to watch the endurance and watch the progress. So celebrate that win. We might have got an inch further. Yeah. But that's a huge thing, as you know. It is. It's because it's an inch that's been lost, and it's just regaining back what you've lost. Absolutely. Because having a disability doesn't have to take everything from you. Right. We do. I mean, I kind of count the losses month on month, and I feel like this year in particular has been quite hard for me, because I have decreased in a lot of motion, but this could be the thing that gets me back. I do feel very fired up about this. I really do, because you're answering questions that I would have had, especially about pain, especially about how I incorporate
balance. If
Right.
I say somebody, if they need a chair to lean on,
Right.
and then
Yeah. So let's say we're doing a standing move. Okay. So let's say you're just getting brave enough to want to exercise standing. So by the way, I'm wearing Michigan because we're undefeated and we play this Saturday. So I have to be, excited about my team this weekend. So let's say we're doing this. So I always say, have the chair where you feel the most comfortable.
Yeah.
So I'm going to turn this down a little bit so you see me better.
Yeah.
So I've got my walking stick right here. So which I love because the bottom, because it feels sturdy and I feel like I can do this.
Sticks
very much. It is awesome. Having this, I feel like, okay, I can use this. So if I feel like I want another piece of furniture to help me, then I might use the chair. Yeah. So what I want to make sure is that my toes are facing forward and that when I come down, I'm going to set my glutes back. My knees want to be at that 9-degree bend, but I may not be all the way at a squat yet, but I want to make sure that I'm still coming down correctly. So I'm coming down. I might want to hold that contraction 2, 3, and then come up. Yeah. So I may not need this. I might have progressed, or I just need that stick coming down with my walking stick and coming up.
And it doesn't matter how far down the squat goes.
Exactly.
Still a squat.
So it may just be here. 1, 2, and then come up. Yeah. The fact is that you're doing it and you're strengthening your legs. Yeah. So I would say, let's do a set of 10 reps. And then I'm going to come over to the other side. Same thing. Shoulders are back and you're coming down to that range of motion and then you're coming down. Yeah. So I always try to stick to 10 reps and try to do 3 sets. Yeah. Now the same thing if you're doing a lunge. So I'm going to come down a little bit more. A lunge is going to be like this, where that leg is in back and you're coming down again. It's a different stride, striking the legs, but you've got this as your balance. Yeah. So you're going to come down and give me a lunge. Again, how far you come down is where you are in that progression, and then you come up.
And I can just I can see just what you're doing there. I can almost feel those muscles firing up.
Exactly.
And
now where the chair would be where you need that balance. So the chair may be behind you if you feel unbalanced and you need that chair behind. So again, with that one, Lyndsay, we would start with 10 reps. And we want to do 3 sets. Now we don't always get there, right? So we may need to break in between. Yeah. Obviously, if I'm with a client, we would do 10 reps, take a 30-second break, make sure we've got some water, and always making sure that you're in a cool place, right? You don't want to be in a where you're super hot. We don't want that.
No. So what if I have a particular condition? I know we've mentioned MS, rheumatoid arthritis. Right. A lot of our followers might have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, where they have hypermobility. We have people with endometriosis. We have arthritis. Yes. We've got so many, such a wide section. Is there anything that I should avoid if I've got a particular condition? Yeah. Are all muscles up for grabs?
No, they're for sure not. I mean, there's different things with different patients, right? So there are different exercises that some people can't do. So we really have to tailor make the exercises for. So when I'm writing workouts, I'm not writing them I can't write one workout for the day. If that makes sense. No. So my next client may have maybe a stroke victim, or my next client may be someone who struggled with cancer.
How important is it to get that connection and to get that conversation going again between your brain and those muscles?
Oh, extremely important. It's that getting that neuroplasticity is so important. And we do it each time everything we do in the day. Yeah. So it's each workout, each exercise, each time we connect that brain with that muscle and we do a different move, we're creating it. Yeah. And that's why I will never play music. Sometimes in the Zoom, we do a cardio move and I'll play music for fun. But when we're really focusing on doing an exercise move, a strength move, I don't play anything because I want you to be able to focus your mind to that muscle group. And you can't if you're singing along to something.
Yeah, if you've got distraction.
Yeah. But then I want it to be fun too. I don't want it to be all structured, and stressful. So when we do something fun, like a cardio thing, then I'm like, I'll push the Spotify and we'll play like a fun song.
Yeah.
And so then we can do that.
It's only an hour out of your life, isn't it? It's not,
yes.
You're not doing this, for hours on end. So to concentrate, I think, is a good thing.
Yes.
And that, do you know what? I mean, I find it hard to concentrate on a lot of things.
Right.
Even that alone would train my brain to actually focus on what I'm doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
it's really important.
It's fascinating. And what I love is you're showing me there. You don't have to go to class and do it. You can do it.
Right. That's the biggest thing I think people feel is that I'm with you and there's nothing else coming in to distract that. You've got my full attention. I'm watching and scanning every move you're making so that if there's a slip up, I can catch it and say, let's go back to that because that move was a little off and I want it to be perfect so that you're not injuring yourself.
Tell everybody the work that you do with Gretchen, because everybody knows Gretchen on she's been a great supporter and we've used a lot of her advice.
So I haven't worked with your
relationship
so we haven't worked. What is funny is that even though we haven't met or worked together, is I end up getting a lot of her clients after. So what it is after physical therapy, there's what's next, right? So it's like, what happens next? So what I usually have is the exercise portion. Because once we've done physical therapy, it's this idea that, okay, I'm supposed to exercise, but how?
Exactly.
How do I do that? And who's there to help me? And what if I don't want to get into one of these giant programs? And so that's why it was such a big part of my heart to get into this and to do this and to give up my gym so that I could be a part of this what next and really do this part.
I think there's probably a lot of people out there that might be watching this that will have gone through. You have physical therapy. We call it physiotherapy over here.
Right. And Gretchen does a great job. And doing that.
They've been through their course of physiotherapy.
Right.
And you're kind of just told to go home and do it on your own.
Right.
And it's a lonely place to be. And it's a working place because you've got to motivate yourself, which is difficult to start. You've got to actually know what you're doing to do it safely. It's tricky, and you feel a little bit abandoned by the system. So this is where you step in and encourage people to exercise at home.
For sure. And it does feel that. And oftentimes I'll send someone a video and I'll say, okay, send it to me how you did it. And they're like, I didn't do it because you weren't with me. And I couldn't get the motivation on my own. And then that's often people feel that way.
And
so I think you're right.
That's different to each person as well, isn't it? Different things motivate different people.
Yes.
And I think combined with all the factors that we've discussed, so pain, that you haven't exercised for a long time, your inner critic is telling you that you've got all these things going against you. Why would you even try? So the motivation is difficult for different people. For me personally, I would have all those things because I haven't exercised for a while and I do have pain and I probably wouldn't worry because I know I have you on the end of the phone and I can go, Kathy, what am I doing wrong? But
I'm going to get you to do that with me for sure.
I'm definitely going to do it. And I'm going to have a flashy walking stick, probably flashy than yours. I can have a brand new one that no one's
Yes, you can have any. Yes, you can. Yeah.
I just love this whole idea of using your walking stick to help you exercise. But the bigger message is just exercise. Just move it. Don't, the walking sticks aside. I mean, that's just something extra that we've been talking about. It's the movement that's important.
Right.
And I know that is for me. So I know it will be for tons of people out there looking.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But like I said, the sticks are so important because everybody I train needs something to you grab onto, to have something to hold on to. And these are so great because they're just very sturdy, and I feel safe when I hold on to them. And I would feel safe with any of my clients using them. So I think that's a big deal. And I love what you said about movement. And I think, one of the things I always say is that movement is our medicine, not just physically, but mentally.
Yeah. I have a sister.
It really helps us.
I have a sister that runs, and when she can't run, boy, you wish she was running, because she really, she needs it. It is like a medicine to her.
Yeah.
And when she can't do it, she really suffers, and she has to fill the gaps in with other things, and she does.
Yes.
And she's amazing. She's always busy and doing things. But yeah, it is a medicine, and probably something that until we try it again, we won't remember just how good it makes us feel.
Right. And there's a fear in it that what if that person, and that's why I think it's so important to have someone that is struggling with either an autoimmune disease or struggling with something, that they get it, that they understand, and that they're able to say, I get where your fear is. Let me help you through that. So I think that's a really big, important thing.
Yeah.
So I love this.
You're kind of in the same position that I am, because I'm a disabled creator and I create walking sticks for a community that I belong to, and I'm part of the community. And you're just the same. You're helping people to exercise in a community that you belong to. So it's coming from a place of knowledge and a place of training, but it's also coming from a real place of love and an understanding as well.
Right. Yeah. Well, when Christina Applegate calls me to help her, then we're kind of in the same place.
She will. I'm working on that for you. She's got a bit of she's got a potty mouth. You need to know that.
Yes. Yes, I'm sure.
She's amazing. But yeah, how beneficial would this be? And I'm really gonna try it. And I hope anybody that looks in on this video gives it a go, takes some advice, take something from it, even if it's just a little bit of motivation that there are ways to exercise.
For sure.
And challenge yourself. Yourself. Get a buddy, challenge with you. Do it together.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
And have your motivation from doing it with somebody else. That's an idea. Maybe you can be my exercise buddy.
Absolutely. I will be your buddy.
Everybody watching this, that takes something away from it, no matter how small or how big. And we are going to keep doing this because we have lots to talk about.
Yes.
You've got lots more to show us. And hopefully, by then we'll have some feedback from people, and we'll know how successful it's being and what people are thinking. Any questions that they might want to put to you, that I can channel those through to you.
Go ahead and message us any feedback or questions, and then you can bring out your new walking sticks.
Yes,
give them a little show of what walking sticks are coming out.
Yeah, sneak previews. I'll just go.
That'd be great.
Yeah, it would be so good, and I'm really looking forward to doing it again.
Me too.
Kathy, you're amazing. Thank you.
You too. Thank you. This was great.
I look forward to the next time.
Me too.
All right.
It was great.
Thank you so much, Kathy. Bye.
You too. Thank you, Lyndsay. Bye-bye.